Hey everyone, this is Mary from SVG Cuts, and I'm here today with some really fun home decor and giftable projects. And this time I used some really pretty paper by one of my favorite paper companies, Graphic 45, and it's called French Country. And it was so fun to work with because the color palettes and the patterns and just the vintage images that they work into the paper is just so pretty. But of course, any kind of pretty paper that you have that you love is going to look awesome with these projects too. So first of all, I think the most notable part of this kit is this real clock that you can make. It's nice and sturdy. It's like several layers thick of cardstock, which makes it feel like chipboard actually. So the little clock part is just powered by one little battery, and it just slips right through the hole in the center. It's so easy. And you could also make it without the cogs and the gears in the back and everything to make it more simple and give it a totally different feel for really anything. You could make it coordinate with your craft room or some kind of small space in like a baby's room or a kid's room, really anything. So it's going to be a lot of fun to play with. And the cool part about this is that the clock face has cutouts where you place each little number. So it's really easy to place every single number in the perfect place. So we also have our three-dimensional lamp here, and it's lit up by a tiny little electronic LED light, which you can find at most craft stores. They're, a couple bucks for a box of them. And I mean, you're not going to see it really glowing unless it's really dark in the room, but it just looks so cute, and it's going to be really fun to display, make it coordinate with the area that you're putting it in. And the really fun part is to embellish it. I took a hot glue gun and I put on these really fun black trims that I found at Joann Fabrics, and I had a lot of fun putting stuff on the front of it too. So we also have this really simple, really quick box, and it's nice because the sides of it are kind of scalloped like that. It's finished off really nicely on the inside, and it just uses one piece of 8x8 paper. So you can use whatever paper you want, but if you have a really pretty piece of 8x8 paper like I had here with this paper collection, it's perfect. You don't even have to cut out this part of it. You just, slice off the top with the name on it, and then you just use the rest of the pieces with your box. So I loved that because I just love this paper, and this one big piece is so pretty. So we also have a really cute little octagon shaped box here. And again, it's finished off nicely on the inside, and the edges are scalloped and really cute. So I had a lot of fun going heavy on the embellishments on this one to make it real girly. But again, you could give it any kind of theme that you want depending on the paper and the colors that you're going with. So finally, we have our little rooster card, and it's like a vintage inspired rooster. I like all the movement of his feathers and everything. Nice and simple. And of course, you could use Mr. Rooster on any other kind of project, whether it's a box or a bag or a scrapbook page or really anything. So like I was saying, this awesome paper, I was lucky enough to have all the different sizes of pads that it comes with, and I pretty much used up all my 12x12 pads. And I just love this because they usually come with these big like 4x6 postcards, and you could just cut this up, put it on a card, add a button and a bow, and it's like the prettiest card ever. So they also have all kinds of really fun stickers and chipboard elements, which I didn't really use because I didn't want you guys to get confused and think that this was part of the kit, but it was really hard for me not to use these. They're so gorgeous and really pretty. So totally love it. And I've got all my pieces cut out to show you how these three-dimensional items go together. So let's get started. So first of all, for our clock, I really think you're going to be surprised how easy this is if you've never worked with a clock movement kit before. And this is, everything that comes in the kit is right here. You don't need to get, there's other kits that have numbers, but you just need the real simple one for 1/4 inch surfaces is what it says. It says in your PDF, so you can always refer back to that later too. So one thing to note, like I was saying, this is really easy to place the numbers in because there's cutouts. And then one thing is, for the next layer behind it, it says this in your PDF, but you want to pick whatever the main solid color is of this piece. You want to choose a solid color that's pretty close to it for this one. So that's just going to make sure that your clock looks real nice, because that color is showing through here, and you want it to be subtle. You don't want that color to pop through very much. So as far as putting our clock together goes, all I'm going to do is follow the instructions on the clock package itself. So all that means is that I just layer these little pieces like this, and it just goes in the order that it says on the package. And I just screw this guy on. Just bear with me a second here. That goes on. I'd probably make it a little tighter, but just so you get the idea, these all just snap into place like so. And this one goes on next. Then this little guy screws on, and then this one just pokes right into the top. Then all you have to do is pop your battery in, and I like to use rechargeable ones. That way I don't have to throw them away as often, and I can reuse them. And mine's not set up properly, but it starts to tick, and you just use this little dial to adjust it to the right time. So next, for our large gift box here, I've got my pieces cut out. My machine didn't even cut this. It's just a piece of paper from my paper pad, my 8x8 paper pad. And I've got the liner here, which is just another square that's a little bit smaller. And then I've got my 4 pieces, which make up the sides of the lid. So the bottom goes together pretty much the same way. It's just a little bit taller. So I'm just going to show you the lid today. And all I'm doing is putting some glue on the side tab of one piece, and all 4 pieces are identical, so it doesn't matter what order you go in or which one you start with. So I just want to do my best to line that up real nice, and I'm going to do the same thing all the way around the whole entire lid. It's definitely self-explanatory, very easy. I'm sure you could figure it out without me showing you. But just in case you have any questions, you can see exactly what I'm doing. So I've pretty much got all 4 pieces going here. And now I just need to do this final side tab here. And now we can go ahead and put the top on. Now, someone on our Facebook wall, I'm sorry, I totally forget the name, but someone mentioned that they thought it was easier to put the lid on if you start with just one tab, which you can do if you like. It makes sense, especially with something this large. You definitely probably don't want to just throw all 4 on at once. So I'm going to start with just one and make sure it's lined up as perfectly as possible, because if it's a little bit off, it's going to throw off the alignment on the other pieces. And then all I'm going to do is put glue on all 3 of these tabs here and put that in place. I can flip it over and press my tabs down, make sure they're lined up real nice, and go ahead and glue my liner inside to finish it off. Next, for our pretty little octagon box, I'm going to show you first how the lid goes together. And for the lid, it's just made up of these 2 pieces and these 2 pieces. And there's a little hole in the top of one of them because that's where the knob goes through. So I'm going to start by putting glue on the side tab of one of these long pieces. And both of these pieces are identical. So my next step is to put glue on the other side tab and curve it around to form the lid. So now I want to take my piece with the hole in it, and I'm going to glue it right on top. So I can start by putting glue on just one tab and lining it up with one of the sides. And all 8 sides are equal, so it doesn't matter which one you start with. And I think I'll jump across to the opposite side and go ahead and glue that down. Now, if you feel more comfortable working your way around in a circle, I think that is totally fine too. So now I'm going to need to flip these up and put glue from the underside to glue these other tabs down. So just go ahead and glue the rest of your tabs down. So I've got my lid almost done. I don't want to put the liner on just yet because first I want to take my knob, which is 2 pieces, and I want to put glue on this little small side tab here and curve it around and close it up. And then I can go ahead and put it through the hole in the lid here. And then I'm going to go around on each little triangle and I'm putting a dot of glue on each one. And then I just want to fold each of these over and give them a chance to dry while I hold them a little bit because they want to pop up. But just need to hold them down while they dry. So next I can flip my lid over and put glue on all of these tabs and then place the top on. And again, all 8 sides are equal, so it doesn't matter which way you put it on. Then we can go ahead and put our liner in place to cover up everything and finish it off. Now for the bottom of this box, it's pretty much the same as the top, just simpler and larger. These are 2 pieces which I've gone ahead and glued together. Then we just finish it off by gluing it here. And then we can flip it over and put the bottom in place, which is the larger of the 2 octagons, which is this one. So as you can see, that's how I did this one. And then you finish it off with the smaller of the 2 octagons by gluing that inside to finish it off. So finally, for our little desktop lamp, we have a pretty simple project here actually. The shade is just these 4 pieces, and I've gone ahead and I've glued my vellum inside each little piece of the shade, and then I went ahead and glued my little fleur-de-lis on the front. I'm not sure if that's how you say it, I'm not very schooled in French. And then the bottom here is made up of 4 pieces like this, and this crazy piece and this bottom piece. So let's start by gluing these together. I've already glued these 2 together, so I'm going to go ahead and continue by putting glue on all 4 of these tabs here. And if I was going to get really precise, I think I would take a blue ink pad or a brown ink pad and I would rub it on the creased parts to hide the white that's showing through from the center of the paper. I think that finishes it off extra nice and makes it really, really nice, but it's optional. And so as you can see, all I'm doing is going 1 tab at a time from the bottom to the top. I'm giving each tab a little bit of a chance to dry before I move on to the next one. And I'm just doing that all the way around for all 4 sides. So when I finished off the final seam here, I found that it was actually easier to go from top to bottom. If that works for you, that's good too. Okay, so now all we need to do for the bottom is put glue on all 4 of these bottom tabs here. And I want to make sure that my glue goes all the way out to the corners so that we get a nice seal. And I'll just place this little square on the bottom. Okay. Now at this point, if you have something to weight this with, it's kind of a nice touch. It's not necessary, but for mine, I got some dried lentils and I put them in there, which might not be the best choice in case a mouse finds it someday, but maybe some little tiny marbles or something might be kind of nice. Next, let's take a look at our shades. Now 3 of them are the same, and this one is just, the only difference on this one is the way that the circle, this like half oval, is cut out to make room to slide your tea light candle in. Your electronic tea light candle, of course, not a real candle. So all I'm going to do is grab one of these shades. Doesn't really matter which one I start with. It's just a matter of preference. If you care which order your patterned paper is going around the lamp in, that's the only thing that matters. And I'm just going to work my way around, gluing all 4 sides together. And super straightforward and easy, just one big straight tab. Can't really go wrong. And you definitely can't go wrong with this paper. I think it's to die for. It's so pretty. The colors are awesome, the patterns are awesome. I love how there's so many different sizes of patterns. Like for example, these 2 that you see here, obviously one of them has a tiny pattern and this one has a larger pattern, which I think makes it really fun to work with. I feel like you could just throw together just about anything with this paper and it would look awesome. So I'm just finishing off my lamp here, and then all that's left to do is flip it over and put glue on all 4 of these tabs, which I will show you because I want it to be complete up here on the shade so that I can demonstrate how it goes onto the bottom, the base of the lamp. So again, I just want to make sure that my glue goes all the way out to the corners. And I can go ahead and put all 4 on at once because it's a pretty small shape, and therefore it's easy to wrangle it and make sure that it's lined up nicely. So I can just reach in from the inside and push down a little bit. If you have like a bone folder or like a pen, you can reach in and push down on this tab that you can't really reach from over here. And then all that's left to do is put glue on all 4 of these tabs, and you just want to line it up perfectly as possible in the center of this circle. So we want the circle to be lined up as perfectly as we can, like this. So you might need to get down and hold it up above your head to kind of look so that your lentils don't fall out or whatever. Then you can just go ahead and have fun embellishing it. And like I was saying, I glued this with a hot glue gun, and I had a lot of fun finding these trims at Joann Fabrics and using my stash to finish embellishing it. So there you have it, really fun projects for home decor, just to display around the house or to make for someone special and to give to them. So I hope you have fun making these projects. If you do, we would love to see pictures on our Facebook wall or in our forum or on Instagram or on your blog or what have you. So thanks for watching. I'll catch you next time, and happy crafting.
Learn more by visiting www.svgcuts.com. Don't forget to like us on Facebook and watch all of our crafty videos on YouTube. It's a world of crafty content with you in the middle. svgcuts.com, inspiring you to live creatively and beautifully.